Hello, my name's Ethan, and I help skinny men build an attractive physique. If you're a skinny man, you want to improve your physique, make sure you give this video your full attention. Prepare to be lean. You should do cardio all year round. Let me give you an example. Let's say you eat 1,000 calories every day, and for the sake of this example, you also train and you work out every day. So, when you work out, you're going to burn about 900 calories. That's going to leave you with 100 calories left. You're going to burn calories just from walking around, just from doing random things for your day. That's going to be included into the 900 calories. Still leaving you 100 calories. Another 50 calories is going to be used for when you sleep, your recovery. But you're still left with the other 50 calories. This last bit of calories is just going to be stored as fat. Your body's going to use it as an energy called ketones later on. This only is used when you don't have food, when you don't eat any carbs, because then your body's not using glucose. It's going to use the fat storages. But if you constantly eat consistently, you're just going to have fat, and the fat's just going to build up. This is why you need to do cardio, to make sure that the extra 50 calories is burnt off. It's very hard to burn through a high amount of calories. It takes a very long time. If you're someone who uses the treadmill quite regularly, you'll understand that to burn off the food you've just eaten, just one meal, it can take up to 2 hours. It takes ages to burn off a high amount of calories. So this is why you just need to do cardio consistently every week. I'd say do cardio twice a week, just so it's not too much hassle to do. It's just something that you can easily fit into your routine, and it's just going to make sure you get leaner. Burning this consistent 50 calories is good because later on, when you want to get very lean, you've already stopped the accumulation of fat, the buildup of fat, because now you're not building up the consistent 50 calories week on week. Doing cardio consistently also just helps when you're on a bulk. You're just going to be able to eat more, so that means you can eat more protein. You're burning through calories, your body wants to eat more because it's got no fuel, it's got no energy, so that's an opportunity to eat more protein to grow. Relating to this, another thing you should do all year round that people just neglect is training your abs. People neglect your abs for some reason when it comes to winter because they see it as a muscle that's only used or only useful in summer because it's aesthetic. But I see it as training your chest or training your biceps. You wouldn't stop training your biceps because it's now winter, just because you're going to gain a bit more fat and you can't really see the veins or anything on your biceps. Doesn't sound right, it just sounds stupid. It's just like, why wouldn't you keep on training? Well, that's the same for your abs. Your abs are a muscle, so keep on training them all year round. Know which diet is for you. For this example, I'm going to say your bulking. It's far easier to understand this context as bulking rather than cutting. There's two options. Option one is dirty bulking. Option two is clean bulking. I'm going to go through the pros and cons of both diets, as well as how to specifically use them and utilize them for your training. Some of the positives from dirty bulking is that you can eat more of it. It usually just tastes a lot nicer than the clean, healthy option. So you're just going to be able to eat more food, helping you grow more muscle. That's the second positive. You're going to be able to build up more muscle quicker because you're eating more, and that just means you can eat more protein and more calories. Also, it has carbs, and carbs is useful because it has glucose, and your body uses this for energy. Very quick burning energy. This is also going to help you in the gym, so that means your workouts can be better. You can get better pumps in the gym. Now, the negatives is that you're going to have brain fog, you're not going to think properly, you're going to be mentally slow. And for the same reason as it was a positive, it can also be a negative, which is high carbs. Bad food usually just has a lot of carbs instead of a lot of protein. This means it's just going to be very taxing on your mental health. Bad food is also going to lead to lower quality most of the time, which means you're going to have a worse gut health, you're going to feel worse through your day to day, probably look worse from your skin in just all round health. It's not going to be the best option if you want to optimize your health, but it's good if you want to build more muscle. And I'm going to speak about it in a minute. And I'll cover that in more depth in a minute. But you're also going to build more fat. This is a negative because, like I said in the first part of this video, you don't want to build lots of fat. Sometimes it can be good because it means that you can have a storage of energy to go to if you one day can't eat enough food because, I don't know, you're busy. You still have the food, you still have the fat that your body can burn through instead of your body burning through protein. When your body doesn't have energy, it goes to ketones. If your body doesn't have ketones, it starts to go to protein. It uses protein as its last resort, as energy, before it starts deteriorating muscle and other things. It would just go to protein. You don't want this because protein is used for recovery. You want to recover, you want protein. So, sometimes it can be good. So, sometimes it can be good to have a bit of fat, but you never want to go over the top of it where it's just going to be a hassle to get rid of later on. So my conclusion for dirty bulking is you should do this for the first 6 months of your training. Reason why is because it's just going to make sure you're used to eating a lot of food. It's going to be a lot easier for you to eat a high quantity of food. So that means later on when you come to bulk clean, it's going to be a lot easier for you to do. You've got past the mental battle of force feeding yourself. Then it's just a mental battle of the boredom from eating. It also means you're going to build a decent amount of muscle in your first few months of training. You already will naturally have this sort of gift. It's like a gift, but you're going to have this period within the first year where you naturally build the most amount of progress you ever will in your whole time in the gym. This is just because you've not lifted weights before, your body is not used to hypertrophy before, so it just phenomenally grows a lot bigger. And then eventually, the progress of rate, the muscle, the rate of your muscle being made slows down. So this means that you're less likely to quit because you've already seen the progress. If you aren't seeing progress, you're more likely to quit because you think it's not working. You're also more likely to sporadically just change your routine. And that's just going to make you have less results because you're not sticking to something. If you're jumping around, it's going to be a lot harder for you to really nail your routine, really understand what you want to get out of the gym. Now let's go through option 2. It's going to be about clean bulking. So some of the pros for clean bulking are almost just the opposite of the dirty bulking, but I've just threw a few more into the clean bulking just so you see even more benefits from this option. So the obvious ones are that you're going to feel better, you're going to think better, and you're going to have less fat. But you're also going to have higher testosterone. Because there's less waste products and less artificial preservatives in your food, this means there's less hormone blockers in your food. It's most likely going to be more natural and better for your hormone health. So you're going to have better testosterone. Why is this a massive positive? And what's this got to do with building the attractive physique? Well, when you have more testosterone, your progress of your rate of muscle growth is going to spike, it's going to go up, because that's why people inject testosterone to build more muscle. Testosterone is reliable for you building more muscle. It's not the only factor, but it is a factor that's going to help. You're also just going to have a lot less health problems later on down the line, such as gut health and just all around hormone health, maybe even some, like, maybe even heart health. Your cardiovascular could improve as well. Now, there's only two negatives that I've really thought about for this option, and that's your food's going to be very boring. I'm going to talk about that in more depth in a second. And it's also going to be harder compared to dirty bulking to build muscle. It's still going to be an efficient way to build muscle, but just not as efficient as dirty bulking. Now, your food is going to be very repetitive and very boring. You're going to find yourself eating the same meal consistently for months, like not weeks, for months, possibly even years. Just chicken, rice, steak, rice, day in, day out, just for protein. So, my conclusion for clean bulking is do this when you get to the 7-month mark. After 7 months, you should be clean bulking, just so you avoid all of the health problems and you are really dialing in on improving your physique and improving how lean and vascular you get. It's also just going to mean you're just going to feel better through your day. Far better. You've already built the foundation from dirty bulking. You have a decent amount of muscle. You're still going to have quite a few months. Some people, even into the second year of training, still have the muscle grow where they grow muscle really quickly. You might even have that into your second year. I'm pretty sure I also did. So if not, you've still got 3 months of clean bulking where your body naturally builds more muscle than it will through the rest of your career in bodybuilding. So you're going to clean bulk until you hit the mark of 2 years. This is when you do something called the big bulk. Let me go into this in more detail. The big bulk. You should do this 2 years into training. Why? Well, after 2 years, you really are focused in the gym. You understand what to do. There's no messing around. You go into the gym, you know what exercise you're doing straight away. You're already ready. You've got your drink, you've got everything on, you've got your headphones on, you're focused. You also know how to recover properly. You should have your sleep and recovery dialed in. Your eating should be done. You should already know how to properly eat, meal prep, everything should be fine. This means when you do the big bulk, and you will gain some fat from this, you're not going to be hindered by the fat later on. You can lose it. So you're not going to be burdened by all this fat you're going to gain, and you're just going to be able to utilize it to build more muscle. So what is the big bulk? This is when you eat anything and everything. You've probably seen big bodybuilders like Jay Cutler when they used to get very big. You could probably see some pictures of Jay Cutler where he got massive. And this is just the big bulk. Lots of bodybuilders do this. Even Jeff Seed, I'm not too sure if I pronounce his last name properly, but he done something called a big bulk as well. I named this as a big bulk, but I just noticed that a lot of other bodybuilders have done this just naturally through training. This means that they've built a great foundation because now they've spent about 6 months to a year building as much muscle as they can, eating as much as they can, and having the most protein dense and calorific dense diets for 1 year compared to everyone else when they're still cutting and they're doing small bulks and then they're doing small cuts. It's too inconsistent compared to them. When you do the big bulk, it's going to push you ahead of the competition, ahead of everybody else, and then everyone else is just going to be following behind, small bits, small bits. A cut's good to be lean, to look good, but it's not going to be the most effective way to gain more muscle. That's why you need to bulk a lot, gain all the muscle, and then cut, and you come back a tiny bit. This means you're not as big, but you are going to look good, and you're going to have more muscle than everyone else. So everyone else is going to see you, see that you're bigger, and somehow lean. It's not going to make sense to them because they didn't do the big bulk. If the information in this video has helped you, make sure to go to Ethan Higgins 001 on Instagram. Check out the link in my bio there. That's where you can see my community to find more paid information like this. One-time payment for a lifetime of information. You can come back to this at any time you want to. You can take feedback from the information in my classes. And you can also see the people in the community. Goodbye.